All right, so on the previous episode, we talk about we recap the Spurs and 76ers from Tuesday's game, and then we previewed Thunder and the Knicks yesterday, and then we talked about Kyler Murray possibly getting released, Drew Daltman retires, Trent McDuffie gets traded to the Rams and extending contract. And then we talk about Trey Hendrickson isn't returning to Cincinnati. He's declared unrestricted free agent. And then Jerickson Profar facing a season-long suspension of the Atlanta Braves. So we've been talking about that yesterday. Today, we have more segments today. So what's coming up on JDB's Morning Cap? Good morning. Welcome to JDB's Morning Cap. Today is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. So, you know what that means? In 3 days from now, daylight saving time will begin this Sunday, which means we gain an hour of time. The clock moves forward. Clock moves up to 1 hour, but we decline at 1 hour of sleep though. Because everyone has to get up early in the morning for work or to school and all that stuff. So daylight saving time begins in 3 days from today. So we'll try to get into it on this one out. So we should be ready for set up your clocks. It goes 1 hour forward for this one. All right, speaking of forward, let's start this talk show. But we start with breaking news from yesterday from New England. The Patriots have released Stefon Diggs, which means he's parted ways with New England. It will not be official when the league year begins, which is less than a week from yesterday. So Stefon Diggs is no longer with the New England Patriots after he lasted one season. But he got him to the Super Bowl for the first time of his career. So we'll see if that's going to be the case right now. All right, so after releasing of Stefon Diggs, which team will likely destinate for Diggs? Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Kansas City, Green Bay, San Francisco, or how about this? The NFC or the Chicago Bears. So right now, the only team I can destinate right now is the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys do need to sign Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs wants to go back to Texas because he played for the Texans a couple of years ago in 2024 season. So keep that in mind. The Cowboys could get Stefon Diggs, but the only thing is you have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. So the wide receiver depth is going to get stronger. So if Cowboys do add Stefon Diggs, the wide receiver depth will continue to get stronger. But I predict this to Cowboys. But most people, they predict is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So most people predicting the Pittsburgh Steelers are landing Stefon Diggs. But I said the Cowboys are going to land Stefon Diggs because I think the depth of the wide receiver position for Dallas is going to get stronger. If you have CeeDee Lamb, you will have George Pickens, and then yet other guys like Stefon Diggs can put them in the mix. And then you got a tight end, Jake Ferguson, and then you got a quarterback, Dak Prescott, and a running back, Javonte Williams. So the door is open for someone else who will be the number one receiver for the Patriots. We'll get to that in just another few minutes. But Stefon Diggs is maybe the right fit for Dallas. Let's say it depends on the Pickens' contract situation, either in Dallas or he could go elsewhere. But this is a situation for the Patriots. So you just lost your number one receiver. So do you think the offense will take a step back next year for the Patriots? Yes. I think that they'll take a step back because Drake May, he had a solid season, and for next year, numbers might decline for May, even though the Patriots' expectations expect to be higher next year. The Patriots won 14 games in the regular season last year, and they got themselves to the Super Bowl. And at least they accomplished that. Mike Vrabel did a good job to put this team together. And it's not an easy thing to do when you're asking for it. But I do like the fact that the Patriots are just willing to keep Diggs, but they decided to let him walk. I mean, they decided Stefon Diggs walking him. So, I mean, this is a golden situation now. When I looked at the Patriots wide receiver depth after releasing of Stefon Diggs, with Diggs, so right now it's Keyshawn Butte, Demario Douglas, Mac Hollins, and Kyle Williams. So, but the only problem right now is Drake May. He doesn't have available guys who can catch with. So if they can add someone who takes over, we'll have to find out who that is. So I mean, there's like bunch of talks about who do you think who's replacing Stefon Diggs this offseason. I mean, the Patriots organization's got to make a super difficult decision. So this is it. This is a situation you have to make. And because of that, there's not a lot of things you can really worry about. And there's no questions asked. Where is Stefon Diggs going to land at this offseason? Should they go to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Green Bay, Dallas, Cincinnati could be in the mix? Try to work with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. think it's best for this? Give me a second. As I was saying, which gigs will land? Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Cincinnati, Dallas, or the rest of the field? The rest of the field, like San Francisco, the 49ers could use them. Seattle's losing players. Rashid Shaheed is a free agent right now. So we just had that. We just shared it right now. So Seattle could be the right fit to bring Diggs. Although you got Jackson Smith and Jimpa and Cooper Kupp, and then you're losing Shaheed for free agency, because the Patriots are pursuing one side to the other. So this is a situation right now for the Patriots who gets the number one receiver job. There's gonna be some type of competition if they don't land a veteran piece in the offseason. If they do, then there's no definitive. There's a definitive situation. There's your definitive number one receiver. So Stefon Diggs parting ways with the Patriots after one season. Stefon Diggs, look at his numbers with the Patriots in 2025. He finished 85 receptions for 1,013 yards, 11.9 is his average, 4 receiving touchdowns. So he's been productive in the receiving game, but he hasn't caught a lot of touchdowns this year, last year. So his career high in receiving touchdowns, which is 11, that was 2022. What's his career high in total receiving yards? Was 1,535, was 2020. It was a pandemic era. That's the most. That was his most receiving yards of his career, was 2020, 1,535 yards. That was the first season with the Buffalo Bills after he spent 5 seasons with the Vikings from 2015 through 2019. So if that's the case, then you can see everything else here. All right, let's move on. So after Stefon Diggs parting ways with the Patriots, do you think is this open? Is the door open for AJ Brown becoming a Patriot? Well, here's the deal. Do you think the door is open for AJ Brown after Stefon Diggs getting released in New England? Yeah, I think the door is open for AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown. The Patriots are happy to talk about AJ Brown's acquisition. I think they want to take multiple looks at it to see how they can get this deal done and how they can get the deal done. So let's just say you could swap one player to the other. So let's say, what if A.J. Brown gets traded? They need to acquire exchange for draft picks, and then they need to. So who goes to Philadelphia? Is the Patriot defensive player? For sure, we don't know who that is, but they gotta look multiple packages first. That's the key. You gotta look multiple packages. For A.J. Brown, I think A.J. Brown wants to go to New England, try to win his second championship of his career, and willing to put the Patriots to get back to the Super Bowl. But if they do, the expectations expect to be higher. Even they released Stefon Diggs. A.J. Brown could be the right fit for this team to work with Drake May. So this is a situation you can play with. But as long as this team could put it together and stay in a lot of it, but let's just say that if your team has a ability to put something together, let's just say all this, you have everything to go with. You have everything to take over. You have everything else to take over. But that's what the difference makers is all about. You have to find a way to put something ahead of it. I think A.J. Brown, and Stefon Diggs, what's the difference between Stefon Diggs and A.J. Brown? Stefon Diggs, he's reached the Super Bowl only one time. A.J. Brown has reached two Super Bowls, and he's won one of them. So that's a different story now. And if that's the case, then there's not much you can really worry about it. But it is a lot of good things that could really happen. But let's just say this. It doesn't really matter what you're going at it right now. You got to take something that's going to work out for the most. So there's no way you can test someone about the A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is a guy who can really take advantage of. To be a Super Bowl contender, well, look at the Patriots. Look at the rest of the AFC field. You got the Chiefs, you got the Ravens, you got the Buffalo Bills, you got the Denver Broncos. Jacksonville Jaguars surprises everyone last year, and then you got the Chargers. And then you got like Pittsburgh, Houston. You got the Texans, man. I mean, you could say who the high leverage contenders to get to the Super Bowl is New England, Kansas City. Hopefully Buffalo goes back to the Super Bowl. They have not been to the Super Bowl since they lost 4 straight Super Bowls. Josh Allen's looking for his first one. Cincinnati looking to return to the postseason. We've been talking about that not too long ago. But there's a lot of AFC teams that can wrap it up. A.J. Brown needs to go to New England to get his second Super Bowl ring. That's his goal. His goal is to acquire New England and looking for his second Super Bowl ring of his career, and one by each conference. He started a career he started his career with the Tennessee Titans. Then he went to Philadelphia, won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and now here he is. So there's a lot of things going out at the plate at the end of the process. Those are the decisioners that you have to make. You've got to improve the best situations, the best gunslingers. And this is golden. This is a golden opportunity for AJ Brown to head to New England and leave Philadelphia. And the Eagles wide receiver depth, if Brown leaves, it may not be that strong. Even Devontae Smith is the number one receiver, but the wide receiver depth is still not that strong. So it could affect their cap space goes to against Philadelphia, which means it's the Eagles have lax package of the receivers. Lax receiver package, it could decrease their matchups consistently because the defense of guards will take advantage of the receivers. Because it feels like when Hurts throws the ball, you're not going to have success with it. You may not have success with it. So hopefully that will be that. Because of this is a situation you're coming in and you're getting yourself behind. And if that's the case, then you're gonna earn your chance to get back on track. And that is not who they are. And hopefully that will be a change of differences right now. All right, so coming up next, we'll talk more Kyler Murray after possibly releasing from Arizona. And then we'll talk Lamar Jackson and what's going on with Lamar Jackson. And then we'll talk Thunder the Knicks. We'll recap that game. And then we'll preview tonight's game between the Warriors and the Rockets, rematch from last year's first round. And then also we'll preview the Lakers and the Nuggets. And how about the Charlotte Hornets? They are rolling. Do you think the Hornets deserves a deep playoff run? We'll find out here. All right, before we go to break, we do have a really sour news to share with. He was inducted to College Football Hall of Fame not too long. It was a long time ago. Lou Holtz has died. Lou Holtz was a Notre Dame head coach. Also, he also coached Notre Dame, William and Mary, NC State, Arkansas, Minnesota, and South Carolina. And he also coached with the New York Jets in the NFL as well. So he's been coaching for 33 illustrious seasons, and his 33-season college career was 249 and 132 and 7 record of 33-year college football career for Lou Holtz. And we're sending our condolences to the entire Holtz family, and this man will be missed. I did not mention about the cause of death before we went to break for Lou Holtz's death. The cause of death for Lou Holtz, he was diagnosed with he was been battling with serious illness, but he was diagnosed with prostate cancer back in 2014. So he had a serious illness, so he ended up passing away. So that's how Lou Holtz passed away yesterday. All right, let's move. All right, now let's get to Kyler Murray. I've been talking about this yesterday. Kyler Murray is releasing from Arizona, but the question is, do you think will Kyler Murray transition back to baseball? Is there a chance? Murray has a number 9 overall pick in the 2018 draft with the Athletics, originally the Oakland Athletics, but the Athletics are playing West Sacramento for the second year of this 3-year deal. So I will say yes for Kyler Murray. There's a pretty good chance to get back to baseball. But Tebow playing baseball, playing the minor leagues, didn't work out, decided to move on to preaching. But now for Kyler Murray, hopefully his career doesn't follow his footsteps. But according to David Forst, I believe he's the general manager of the Athletics. There is open of reunion of Kyler Murray. The A's are looking for it. So if that's the case, then he has to start with the minor leagues. So it's going to take 6 months, maybe a year at a time to develop, because Kyler has not played baseball since his Oklahoma season in 2018, something like that. So hopefully he'll get this one here, but no. But when Kyler Murray's baseball position was he was center fielder and outfielder, like between right field and left field as well. So he's most likely a center fielder. But he's got a cannon. When he's a quarterback, he can throw. He can throw the ball. But it's not the worst case scenario yet. We've been talking about that, and you can't have options off the table. You gotta figure yourself out, because you talk about. I think Kyler Murray will transition to baseball where he belongs. I mean, he's done a good job playing football, but he's got his team to the playoffs. So the Hail Murray era is over. We see a lot of desperation heaves, but we could have seen that, but now you can see it going its way, and then you gotta expand your differences. But there's a lot of things to say about that. Let's say you're gonna put yourself in a really good position, and then it wouldn't help your cause. And I'm saying this. Kyler Murray will transition back to baseball, and that's my hope. There's a lot of hope and optimism about Kyler Murray could get to Major League Baseball and all that kind of stuff. They can be going at it right now, but it's a little difference. It is a little bit of difference right now that you've been waiting for, but That's exactly you want to say about that. But there's no get around it. There's a lot of teams that can speculate themselves. They say if Kyler Murray wants to transition back to baseball, I'm fine with it. It's going to take years to call Murray up. It's going to take months to call him up. So there's several options. Keller hasn't played in the minor leagues yet. If he does, he has to start with the minor leagues. That's the first step. If the potential development is going to be key for him about his growth and his career efforts. So that's the key for him by going forward. We'll talk outside of Kyler Murray as well. Which NFL players who had played baseball we've seen Bo Jackson, we've seen Deion Sanders, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, John Elway, Tom Brady, A.J. Brown, Jameis Winston. There's a lot. That's a multi-sport athlete, NFL and MLB players who play multiple sports. I mean, Michael Jordan played basketball and baseball. And that's the key. And then you got Danny Ainge. He played basketball and baseball. So, and don't forget Pat Connaughton. He played baseball too. He was drafted by the Orioles. He's gone from drafting to the Baltimore Orioles in 2014 for Pat Connaughton to become the NBA champion with the Milwaukee Bucks. It was always a cool moment for him. So that was we've seen football players playing baseball, basketball players playing baseball. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a bunch of things who love to play multiple sports. But the best case scenario for Kyler Murray. Now don't forget about that Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow played baseball and football. He played for the minor league Mets. I mean, he plays baseball. So he's an episode of Oz, but you can really take that in this one. So they could be, and it's a different story right now with football and baseball players playing a lot out there. So let's say, which one would I prefer the most? Should we play? Do you think they prefer football or baseball? Most likely baseball. We all know it's an easy sport, by the way, but they prefer baseball because it feels like you gain opportunity, you gain more talent, and you're gaining more strength. Health is an important thing in baseball. Health is the most important thing in baseball to stay keyed up. That's the key right now. Just get to this point and making sure they can bring everybody else in there. So hopefully the A's can bring Kyler Murray to baseball, but he has to start with the minor leagues first before he can play real big leagues. So it's going to take months, years to develop. It's going to take games to develop. So he's got to go to someone's clubhouse and then sign it and make a deal and play it. Time is money. Time is absolutely money. What that means that Kyler has to think in his head whether or not he decided to play baseball for a long time. I don't think he's going to play baseball very long. Kyler Murray is only 28 years old. He's still pretty young. He won't be 29 until August 7th. He will not be 29 until August 7th. So he's inched closer to a 30 burger. He's still pretty young. So he's got plenty of time whether or not he's going to play. Like I said, when he hits the late 20s, if you decide to play baseball at the late 20s, you're not going to be in the big leagues that long because of potential health situation and all that stuff. So this is a huge step for Kyler if he decides to play baseball. So he's got weeks to decide it. So hopefully he comes out with it. So I believe that would be that in this one here. All right, so what's coming up on JDB's Morning Cap? We'll talk Lamar Jackson. What is going on with Lamar Jackson? Then we'll talk Thunder and the Knicks, what happened in last night's game. We'll preview Warriors and Rockets and the Lakers and the Nuggets. Also, the Charlotte Hornets are rolling. So don't count out Charlotte. This team has been red hot. So we'll talk the Hornets a little bit later on this show, and then we'll wrap things up. So we should be really exciting. Should be an exciting day on JDB's Morning Cap. So they could make a decision in that one. So we just seen it how it goes out here. We do have breaking news. So we we will step away in about 3 minutes. Welcome back here on JDB's Morning Cap. We do have breaking news in the NFL. The Bills have acquired DJ Moore, exchanging for a mid-round draft pick for the mid-round draft pick goes to Chicago Bears. DJ Moore finished 50 receptions for 682 yards and 6 touchdowns with the Chicago Bears in 2025. So, barring a renegotiation, the Bills will acquire Moore on a 4-year, $98 million contract. It includes $24.5 million and $20 million and $23 million guaranteed. So, for 2027. So the Buffalo Bills do have the number one receiver of DJ Moore. So the question is, will the Bills go to the Super Bowl? Yes, I think the Buffalo Bills will go to the Super Bowl because I think this team has a chance to work with Josh Allen. So the Bills do need a number one wide receiver, and they got one. DJ Moore is a Bill. So he likely gets a 4-year contract. So hopefully DJ Moore will have a solid year with the Buffalo Bills by going forward. So I'll talk more about DJ Moore tomorrow as it develops. All right, let's move forward. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is trying to search for answers for the Baltimore Ravens after a disappointing season. And the question is for the Ravens, should the Ravens extend Lamar Jackson's contract, or will Lamar Jackson walk because of for a trade? So right now, I might not answer that question right now, but I do want to say this. I think Lamar is a hell of a player. He's won 2 MVPs of the league. He won in 2019 and 2023. There's nothing you can really lift him. But I think Lamar is a good player. I understand that if Lamar wants to extend the contract, I'm okay with that. But you got a younger coach now. You got the new voice of the team, Jesse Minter. He's the new coach. No more John Harbaugh. So now this is a new era, and now the Ravens are going to rely on the young cores. Even Lamar Jackson's 29 years old. He already turned 29 almost 2 months ago. So now I'm saying that Lamar has a pretty good chance to win the MVP next year, but things are not going to be easy for the Ravens. Last year they went 8-9, did not make the playoffs. Some heartbreaking losses. This is a situation you really have to make. You got to make those decisions. And the only problem that is things are not as changeable as it was earlier. But there's not much you can get around it. But I think Lamar Jackson's a great player. But damn, if he doesn't extend his contract, then I'm shocked he's going to walk from Baltimore. And if he does leave Baltimore for a trade, Why not just leave Baltimore now? Just keep just keep surprising. That's it. Just keep surprising. That's what we talked about that in general. Lamar Jackson. And you got all the situations you've been going at, I'm just saying that your team is putting yourself behind the 8 ball. It's gonna go in against you. But this is a situation you said everyone wants to step up that you need, but I'm saying you're in really prime position to work with that. So there's something you got something to hang your hat on. So let's say Lamar's juggernaut is it's a superior of talent, but that talent had been wasted for it's been a wasted season last year. They were favored to win the Super Bowl in the preseason last year, but last year it's been a wasteful season. It's been a wasteful season for the Ravens. 8-9 record. They began the season 1-5, and then I believe they won the next 5 games, and then end up losing 4 of their final 6 games to end the season 8-9. So how Baltimore Ravens missed the playoffs last year. That, like I said, injuries, defensive matchup issues, blown leads, that's what happens. And also some lax discipline, lack of details, and lax coaching. Not just John Harbaugh, someone else. Offensive coordinators not doing their job. Defensive coordinators not doing their job. That's something it's going to hang your hat on going to 2026 season. Are the Ravens confident enough to get back to the postseason in 2026? Yes, I'm confident. I am confident if Lamar stays here, I'm confident the Ravens will get to the playoffs. I think the defense will improve, but the offense is still work in progress. Because the Ravens' offense last year wasn't good. Because I know it's the injury of Lamar Jackson. The production in the wide receiver position wasn't as strong. Derrick Henry had an up and down season. He had some fumble issues early. So that's why the offense of the Ravens were struggling last year. And injuries with their offensive line. The Ravens' offensive line has dealing with a ton of injuries. So there is not a lot of things for the Ravens that can hold them down. But I do know this. I can't answer this question. Will he extend or will he be traded? I can't answer that question. I'll let someone else answer the question, but we all know that. We know the story. We know the situation. We know all this. We know we're gonna let this thing happen. But it would have been a cool moment for them. If that's the case, there's not a lot they can really worry about. It's doing everything they're supposed to ask. So that is a spend of difference. But you gotta bow yourself back. So I can promise you, your football team is not going to do a damn thing about it. For you, Lamar, for the Ravens, you're not going to do anything about it. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Because last year, this team has been talented enough to get to the Super Bowl, but your team is ass. I'm just saying, your team is ass right now. And this is a really tough situation. You don't know what the hell is going through your mind. And in the worst case scenario for Baltimore is have another disappointing season. Let's say, you're going to finish the season 6-11, 2026-27 season. And Lamar Jackson, this could be his last season as Ravens quarterback. I'll be traded. I'm out of here. I don't want to work this man no more. Because we can't achieve all these goals. But we have to get stronger than this. We have to. Yes, I know what's been going through Lamar Jackson's mind. I don't know what the hell is Lamar Jackson going through his mind. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So if you don't make the Super Bowl next year or the next 5 years, you can kiss your NFL career goodbye. You can kiss your NFL career goodbye. Today is today, not tomorrow, not yesterday. Today is today. Today is the day. This is a situation you have to make. Don't even think about extending Lamar Jackson's contract. Don't even think about it. You know what I'm talking about, right? Hell, he can skip OTAs, training camps. If he's holding out, that's a problem. If he's holding out, that's a problem. Because this is a situation that he's been going through his mind. And I hate that like this. It's just because you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball and you can't do everything right. You just can't. You can't do everything right. If the Ravens do not make the playoffs for the second year in a row, that will be pain in the ass. And it should be, because some people do not understand what's been going through its mind. So it's going to take a reflection to get someone to tailspin. And you already gained huge problems. And that'll be that. You already gained huge problems. All right, coming up, we'll talk Thunder and Knicks. We'll recap from last night's game. And also we'll preview Warriors and the Rockets rematch from last year's first round. And then we'll preview the Lakers and Nuggets rematch from 2023 Western Conference Finals and 2024 Western Conference first round. And the Hornets are red hot. We will step aside. We'll step away in a few minutes. All right, welcome back on JDB's Morning Cap. Last night, the Thunder score off the Knicks in New York. Thunder plays second night of back-to-back. Chet Holmgren and Shai Alexander combined 54 points, 28 for Holmgren. He led the team with 28 points. SGA with 26. Chet Holmgren also had 6 threes, 8 rebounds as well. And then SGA with 8 assists. This as we off for the Knicks. Karl-Anthony Towns did lead the team with 17 points, but he was fouled out in the final minutes of the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson did not shoot the ball well, although he did have 15 assists in that game. But SGA made a clutch shot as the Thunder hold off and made a clutch shot. And then Jalen Brunson had a chance to tie it. The first three-point attempt to tie it was no good. And then Onobi got the offensive rebound, runs out, and then Onobi a chance to tie it for a three. That one's no good as time expires, and the Thunder survives 103-100. And the Thunder improves to 49-15. They already clinched a playoff opportunity. The Knicks falls to 40-23 on the season. The Knicks continues to struggle since the All-Star. So let's see how they can handle here in this situation. Actually, the Knicks are just 5-3 since break. They're not struggling. The Knicks are 5-3 since the break. They're not struggling. My bad. So, let me ask this question about the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. How the Thunder grinded out this victory last night. Well, for the Thunder, to me, last night, I know Thunder had a 15-point lead, but they squandered it. But let's talk about who made a difference last night for the Thunder's win. It's Chet Holmgren made a huge difference last night. He had 28 points, 11 made field goals, 6 made three-pointers, 8 rebounds. And that was key for him to Chet Holmgren is a guy who can make a huge difference as the playoff approaches. We talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder playing outstanding defense. The Thunder's defense, they make crucial stops when it's necessary. Despite the Thunder surrendered 40 points in the third quarter to the Knicks, but the Thunder cohesiveness was there. There was a lot of good cohesiveness in the fourth quarter. So they were down like 80 to 77 after 3 quarters. Thunder was down by 3 after 3 quarters. Let's just say that. But with the Thunder team is inch closer to their 50th win, they'll play the Warriors on Saturday, so they got a couple of days off. Thunder plays the Warriors on Saturday in Oklahoma City. Thunder is looking for win number 50, but Stephen Curry's return is looming. When is Stephen Curry coming back? We'll talk about that a little bit later. As it develops. But Stephen Curry is reevaluated for 10 more days. So, which is almost 2 weeks, which is a week and a half, close to 2 weeks. But the Thunder has to find a way to grind things out. If that's the case, this is a big stretch for them. And then they got to play the Nuggets on March 9th at home. They got to play Nuggets on March 9th, and they got to play the Celtics, and then Timberwolves, and then they got to go to Orlando, Brooklyn, Washington, Philadelphia, but then head to Boston, and then back home against Chicago, play the Knicks, Pistons, Lakers, Jazz. And then they got to go back on the road to play the Lakers, Clippers, and Nuggets. They'll end the season back home against the Suns. So they're already in the playoffs. The question is, can they hold on to the number 1 seed? I think we'll see about that, how this schedule works out. As for the New York Knicks, they're dipping 40-23, but they're 5-3 since the break, which is not that bad. They could have been 4-4 or 3-5, but the Knicks try to keep pace for the number 2 seed. They failed to win the game last night. How the Knicks failed to win this game yesterday? Despite the comeback, Jalen Brunson had a really tough game. 5 for 18 from the field. Mikal Bridges had a rough game as well. 6 for 17. Same as OG Anunoby, 6 for 17. He missed a game-tying shot as time expires. Karl Anthony Towns had a good game, but he fouled out. So, how the Knicks are going to respond to this? How the New York Knicks are going to respond? That's the key. They got to get to this point right now. They have to get to this point. If that's the case, there's not much of a profit at all. That's gigantic. So someone has to step up down the stretch for the Knicks. That's the key. When I look at their Knicks schedule, they got to go to Denver tomorrow to play the Nuggets. And they got to go to play the Lakers on the road on Sunday. And then they got to play the Clippers second night of the back-to-back. And then they got to go to Utah, then Indiana, and they will not head back home until March 15th. The Knicks will play the Warriors. So when I look at and then they got to play the Hornets on March 26th. The Hornets have been red hot. So there's another team that is new to be a better team. I just want to be truthful for that. So hopefully that's not the case there at this time around. So we'll see how that thing is. That's what this team is all about. You got to stay cohesive if you're New York Knicks team. All right, what's coming up? We'll still talk about previewing the Warriors and the Rockets. Rematch from last year's first round. Lakers and Nuggets. I'll preview that game as well. Rematch from 2023 Conference Finals and 24 first round. And the Hornets are rolling. And we're about to wrap this up. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back here to JDB's Morning Camp. Warriors will score off the Rockets in Houston tonight. Tip-off begins at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. The Warriors are sitting 31-30, which is the 8th seed of the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the Rockets are 38-22, 3rd seed of the West. If season half ended today, the Warriors will face the Suns in a play-in tournament. Battle for the 7th seed. The Rockets will have to face the Lakers in the first round. 6 versus 3 matchup. And the Warriors play the Rockets for the second time this season. Last time they played the Rockets was November. Last time the Rockets and the Warriors faced off each other was November 26th. And the Rockets were down as many as 8 points. The Rockets were down as many as 14 points, and they came back, defeated the Warriors 104-100 in San Francisco. So, Rockets will see the Warriors two times over the span of 1 month. So they'll do it today, and then they'll play Warriors one more time on April 5th. So Rockets leads the season series 1-0. So the Warriors try to even up the series. Rockets can clinch the season series with a win here tonight. So keep that in mind. So the question is this a get-right game for the Golden State Warriors? With Stephen Curry is still out with the injury. Is this a get-right game for the Warriors? Technically, it is. The Warriors have been struggling offensively. They have lost. They have lost 3 of their last 4 games, 7 of their last 9. I mean, this team has been inconsistent. The offense has been inconsistent. They're not shooting the ball very well otherwise, but even Paczynski and Moody have provide some contributions, the offense will be stagnant. And that's the key. That's his problem. The Warriors' offense will be stagnant down the stretch. Even you don't have your best guy, Stephen Curry. If he comes back beforehand, that'll be huge for them. The Golden State Warriors, they need to bring him back. They need to bring Stephen Curry back. That's the key. That's a huge first step. Yeah, the Porzingis is trying to come back. He was battling an illness. So where's the leadership? Is it Draymond Green? Yeah. So this has to be a get right game for the Warriors tonight. You're on the road. You got Houston tonight, and then 2 days later, you got to play the Thunder on the road this Saturday. So this is a golden opportunity for the Warriors to get right tonight against the Rockets team. They're third place in the Western Conference. The Rockets are 38-22 on the season. The Warriors just 31-30 on the year. Those stretches is going to be critical by going forward here tonight. So let's see if the Warriors can handle themselves here on the road here tonight. Meanwhile, that would be the case. Hopefully the Warriors will get right here tonight. Meanwhile, for the Houston Rockets, they're playing a little bit. They're playing much better. So they start to figure things out. They won 7 of their last 9 games. They're just 9 back from Oklahoma City, number 1 seed of the West, but Rockets have no shot to get a number 1 seed. No way. But Kevin Durant is a good player. Kevin Durant is a good player to me. I mean, he understands the game. He describes the game consistently. Those are the earnings that you have to make. Well, this is huge. If that's the case, then you can see yourself out. So let's see how this plays out. And that's a different story for them. And then you got Afrin Şengün. And then you got Amen Thompson, Tari Eason. Some of these guys, if they need to bring Jabari Smith Jr. back, that's the key. They need to bring him back before the playoff arrives. But you're not going to stand behind it. But you're not. You're not going to stand right behind it. That would have been different. That would have been a different story for everyone else. And you might be okay with that. So That's a huge difference right now. Then it's going to work. Then it's going to work it all off. So it's this and that. It is this and that, and it's the situation. You really want to make this. You want to make this thing happen. You could be okay with that. So the Rockets, Ime Udoka. I'm serious, man. The Rockets need to get out of this first round if they want to advance. The Western Conference is a no joke right now. This is a competitive Western Conference standings. It has been competitive down the stretch, the way it turns out. So this is a really good. This is a good way to see how it's going to work out in this one here. All right, predictions. So the team leading scoring predictions tonight for the Warriors. It's going to be Brendan Krasinski. He will finish 26 points. For the Rockets, Kevin Durant will finish 38. And the winner, I'm going to pick the Rockets. I think it's going to be competitive. 114 to 109. Rockets will win this one. I think Warriors will fight, but I think Rockets are a better team to win. All right, what's coming up on JDB's Morning Cap? We'll talk Lakers and Nuggets. We'll preview that game. And then how about the Charlotte Hornets? They've been red hot. And then we'll wrap things up with what's coming up tomorrow's episode. So we will step away in 3 more minutes. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to JDB's Morning Cap. We're down just to 2 segments before we wrap things up. It'll be the Nuggets hosting the Lakers tonight. Tip-off begins at 10 o'clock Eastern. The Nuggets are 38-24. The Lakers are 37-24. So they're half game separation. Lakers beat the Nuggets in the first matchup. Their first meeting was January 20, 2026. And the Lakers came back and beat the Nuggets 115-107 in Denver. Luka had a triple-double, and LeBron had 19 points. Jokic didn't play. So tonight, it's going to be different. Jokic will face the Lakers for the first time this season. So I know how crucial would it be. Let's start with the Nuggets first for 1 minute. How the Nuggets can hold on to the number 5 seed and move forward. Well, the first thing, you don't have home court advantage. So now you go on the road in the first round of the playoffs. And now Jokic has to step up and be a leader. This is key for the Jokic trying to get to this point on. And Denver wants to set the tone. And the Nuggets have struggled as of late. 3 days ago, they could have lost to the Jazz. They should have lost to the Jazz if it wasn't for that bad call. But right now, the Nuggets have struggled. Now tonight they got to play the Lakers, and then they got to get a quick turnaround and face the Knicks the second night in the back-to-back. This is a crucial stretch for the Nuggets. When they look at their schedule, they got to play the Lakers a couple more times. They got to play the Knicks. They got to play the Thunder 2 more times as well. This is a really tough schedule for the Nuggets down the stretch. Like I said, they're home for the Knicks. They're home for the Lakers today. Home for the Knicks tomorrow. Then they got a couple of days off. They're at Oklahoma City. Then they're back home against the Rockets. They're at the Spurs. Then at the Lakers. Hosting the Sixers, at the Grizzlies. Hosting the Raptors. Hosting the Blazers, at Phoenix. Hosting the Mavericks. Hosting the Jazz. Hosting the Warriors, at the Jazz. Hosting the Spurs. Hosting the Trailblazers. Hosting the Grizzlies. Then hosting the Thunder, and they're at the Spurs. Nuggets will see the Spurs 3 more times. So the tough schedule right now is San Antonio. They have a tough schedule against them. Houston, Spurs 3 times. New York, Lakers 2 more times. Thunder 2 more times. Phoenix. So this is it. As for the Lakers, they have almost the same strength of schedule as the Nuggets. So the Lakers will have to play the Nuggets tonight and then head back home to play the Pacers for the second night of the back-to-back. And then they got to play the Knicks, Timberwolves, Bulls, Nuggets again, Houston twice, both on the road. And then at Miami, then Magic, Detroit, Indiana again, this time on the road. Host the Nets, Wizards, Cavs. Then they're at the Thunder, and then at the Mavericks. Then host the Thunder, at the Warriors, host the Suns, and then they'll end the season against the Jazz. So right now, the teams who've been over 500, Lakers against them, Golden State, Phoenix, Oklahoma City twice, Cleveland, Detroit, Orlando, Miami, Houston twice, and then Denver. Those are the tough schedule for the Lakers down the stretch. And who am I picking tonight? Nuggets or Lakers? Nuggets will win 114-103. All right, so let's move on from that. The Charlotte Hornets have been red hot. I mean red hot. The Charlotte Hornets are over 500. The Hornets are over 500 for the first time since October. So they started the season 16-28. They won 16 of their last 19 games, and the Hornets are 32-31. The Hornets end up blowing out the Celtics 118-89. And the biggest difference during that stretch, Canepo. LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and Miles Bridges made a huge difference down the stretch during this hot run. But Canepo had 20 points, led the way, 8-4 made 3-pointers. And the Hornets made 19 threes, and they shot 39% from long range, 46% from the field. So the ball movement has been impressive for the Hornets. Should the Hornets make the playoffs, or should the Hornets sneak the top 6 in the East? Yeah, I think the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference is wide open. I think the Hornets could sneak the number 6 seed. And how they can do that? They need Orlando to fall apart. They need Miami not to win out that much. And they need Philadelphia to lose out. At least lose out. And then Atlanta has to win some of these games. So if Hornets can mostly win out, you don't have to be perfect down the stretch. Just win most of your games. You can be roughly 45-37 to end the season, and you can be roughly the number 6 seed, and you can end the number 6 seed. And how they can do that is the playmaking ability of LaMelo Ball. His playmaking has been outstanding. He hasn't scored a lot, but his playmaking and his contributions has worked as planned. But Charles Lee has done a great job to stay cohesive, and this is a young basketball team. This is a young group. They just find a way to understand the game. So if Charlotte sneaks to the 6th spot, if they can somehow get it, I think Charlotte has a chance to get a deep playoff run. The Hornets have been the biggest stories in the NBA this year. They started the season 16-28, and now they won 16 of their last 19 games. And largely, it's been Knaples' performance. He has a chance to win Rookie of the Year. He is having a solid rookie season. The future is bright for the Hornets, and it's a good sign in Charlotte. We know the future is bright for the Panthers last year. Got to the playoffs, won the NFC South. And now, is it Hornets' turn? If they can win at least 2 playing games, or they can sneak the top 6, they could easily be in the playoffs. Right now, where are they at right now as far as their standings between these two? For the Hornets are the number 9 seed. They have a tiebreaker with Atlanta, so the Hawks will play the Hornets, but they want to get past Miami, Orlando, and Philadelphia. If they can pass these teams, they can sneak into the number 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. So if that's the case, then I think the Hornets on the 6-game winning streak. In their last 6 wins, have decided at least 15 points. 15 points or more. The Hornets won by 19 last night. So, am I right? No. Hornets won by 29 points. Hornets with a 29-point victory in Boston last night. Pretty impressive performance. All right, let's wrap it up. What's coming up in our next episode tomorrow? Tomorrow we'll talk about the Bills got the number 1 receiver. I did talk about it today. We'll talk more tomorrow. And we just have breaking news that Jason Tatum will make his debut tomorrow. We'll talk more about that tomorrow as well. Also coming up, we'll have more NFL updates as it develops. As daylight saving will begin this Sunday, the clock moves 1 hour forward. We lose an hour of sleep, but we gain 1 hour of the clock. So we've just been talking about that at the beginning of the show. We also talked about it today. We talked about releasing of Stefon Diggs for New England. Could open up the door for A.J. Brown from Philadelphia. We talked about Kyler Murray. Is possible transition back to baseball. We talked about Lamar Jackson, whether or not he extends his contract or will he be traded this offseason. We talked about the Lou Holtz passing away, former Notre Dame coach. He's been coaching in college football for 33 years. We also talked about the Hornets have been rolling. We also previewed the Lakers, Nuggets, and Warriors, Rockets. We also recapped the Thunder and the Knicks from yesterday's game. So we talk about all of this throughout the day. So like I said, what's coming up in our next episode tomorrow, Jason Tatum expects to make his debut tomorrow against the Mavericks at home. Meanwhile, we'll talk, the Bills got the number 1 receiver. We'll talk about that, and then we'll continue more NFL updates as it develops. All right, that's enough. We'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day.